Alrighty, so this is going to be my submission for AGDQ 2017 for Crash Bandicoot 1. Please keep in mind a couple of things. First, this run was last shown at AGDQ 2014. That's been 3 years already. But Farian J, which is a fellow speedrunner from the Crash community, also submitted Crash 2 100%, which is a category that I think it hasn't been shown yet. So this is basically a submission kind of as a backup if Farian J does not go, so we can get a Crash Bandicoot platformer in AGDQ, which I feel is important for the fans. Also, CTR was submitted as well, Crash Team Racing, by Alex and Natty, so that's cool as well. Hopefully they get past it. But yeah, the 100% category of this game was also run at AGDQ 16, so that's another thing to have in mind. But yeah, if you want to Crash Bandicoot in Crash game in, please prioritize Crash Bandicoot to 100%. But yeah, as I said, this is kind of a backup run, so might as well just get into it. Alright, so this is Crash Bandicoot 1. First game of the Crash Bandicoot series, and of the most famous first trilogy, of course. In this game we don't have the slide mechanic, so we don't do what the other two games do, which is slide and then do another input, which doesn't really apply to this run, so I won't not explain it. But yeah, first things first, you may notice that I died, I killed myself there, I death abused. That is because if you do the level deathless, like any level deathless, you'll get a cutscene where the game throws on top of Crash's head all the boxes he did not break throughout the entire level, and that is quite a big time loss if you get that cutscene, so it's just better to remove it. In the Japanese version of the game though, even if you die, you still get the cutscene, but regardless of how many boxes you missed, the game will only throw one at you. It's pretty nice, but yeah. So this game tends to drop inputs. I was going for an early cycle there, but dropped my jump. Sometimes it does that. Like every Crash Bandicoot in the original trilogy tends to drop some jumps sometimes. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. You have to get used to it. So this is an early cycle. But yeah, the fastest way of mounting this game is zigzagging. That's why you see me jumping. Zigzagging is basically pressing the right and left arrows of the D-pad back and forth fast as you can while jumping. While being in the air, really, not necessarily jumping. You go some frames faster and you can get some cycles because of it. Also in the 2D levels, which they are like 2D themed levels, you do zigzagging pressing up and down instead of left to right, so that's a thing as well. And this is the first 2D themed level in the game. There's quite some of them. There's in fact some levels that combine both 3D and 2D platforming, so that's very interesting later on. So you have to apply both zigzagging to, like, both ways of zigzagging to just get early cycles and stuff. For instance, here I'm gonna try to get an early cycle here. Yeah, there I didn't die because this game gives you invincibility frames once you spin. You get, like, the spin lasts for 24 frames when being on the ground, and while in the air it lasts, when you spin in the air, it lasts for 14 frames, more or less, I think. Something around that. So yeah, that is great gate. If you don't get those early cycles, you lose like 5 seconds. Maybe not that much, like 4, but it's a still pretty big time save. Well, kind of a big time save. So this is boulders. This is the best level to explain. Well, not to explain, but to see the effect of zigzagging in the run. So normally a boulder goes basically at the same speed as Crash. But if you do zigzagging, look at how far behind you can leave the boulder. It's pretty insane. And yeah, I just keep dying after each checkpoint just to remove the cutscene. There's like 3 levels I'm not gonna die, and you'll see the cutscene in 2 of them. I'll explain why you won't see it in the 3rd one later on, when we get to there. So yeah, there's not much to say for this level yet. So yeah, that's it. Alright, so next up is Upstream. This is a level that is pretty interesting because there is a strat sorry, that was developed a little bit ago, like a couple of months ago. And you can actually do double jumps in this level. It's really precise though, so I'm not gonna do it here. But yeah, you can, and it saves like 4 seconds if you do 3 of them. Seems kind of worth if you're going for a PB, but in a marathon it doesn't. That's an early cycle, by the way. You just get it by doing zigzagging. And yeah, so we're about to finish the Upstream and going into the first boss fight. The boss fight of this game are actually pretty free. They're easy. So the first one is Papu Papu. First boss of the entire series. She's pretty iconic, I think. This boss actually has a really cool theme to it. Like, it has some really cool music playing. But we don't get to the cool part because we just beat him like super fast anyway. So it's a 555 Papu, which is pretty okay, pretty average. So I'll be taking it. This is Rolling Stones. This level is pretty interesting. I'm gonna do a lot of cycle skips throughout the second half of the level. So I got the mask just in case I get hit. I usually don't, but yeah. When you snipe that, you get the mask for free, pretty much there. You don't exactly need it, but it's better for trying to get some cycles. So that's the first cycle skip. This is gonna be the second one here, coming up. That one. And the third one is here. This is usually where I get hit. Oh, I didn't, okay. That's the cycle I usually get hit, so that's why it's important to carry a mask. This is another cycle skip here. And that's it. You can actually skip this one here, but it doesn't save much. Because you have to wait anyway. So yeah, that's Rolling Stones. And the next level is Hog Wild. And it's the first out of 2 board levels in the game. I'm only gonna do this one because the other one is a bonus level, only required for 100%. And by the way, you may notice that my video might be lagging whenever I die. That is because my capture card, it's not because the game, my capture card tends to do that when I use XSplit. So yeah, I have to break all the boxes with the exception of one, just to mitigate the effects of the cutscene at the end. So I have to get the cutscene here, I cannot without use. It's slower. And by the way, I did break that box over there. That didn't seem that I actually broke it. I did. So I'm skipping that box. I'm breaking this one. That should be that I only missed one. And you'll see the cutscene that I was talking about earlier. So yeah, every time you do that level deathless, you get this. You cannot death abuse at the start, and I stopped the timer. That's pretty silly. Thankfully, this is live split, so you can just undo that, and it still counts you. I was just like, oh, let's do a split. But yeah, whatever. So this is Native Fortress. I took the mask. I'm gonna do some, like a cool trick, a little bit later in the level. I got a bad tackle here, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit, just to not trigger a fire thingy right here. That one. If I go fast, whenever I get a bad tackle, it triggers, so I have to wait. Alright, so I'm gonna do... It's not really an out of bounds, but... yeah, you'll get the idea once I get it. So I'm basically like on top of the camera, really. You can see Crash's feet up there. You get up there by doing the damage abuse. In this game, when you damage abuse when having a mask, you get thrown into the air, like way higher, so it's pretty convenient for doing that. It especially is convenient for 100% because you do that trick in Great Gate, so you do not need to revisit Great Gate for 100%, which is quite the time save, and it's not too hard either. So here I'm gonna do some stuff, and I'm gonna focus because it's pretty easy to mess up on. Cool. So I'm using having invincibility frames. I jumped on the spike so I could get some early cycles. There's 3 different ways, in fact, you can get that early cycle. But that's the fastest one, and I think it's the easiest one as well. So yeah, 10:35 first island. That's not too bad. Definitely could be better, but yeah, I got a bad cycle at the start of Native Fortress, and I got kind of some bad RNG in Hog Wild. So let me explain what I mean by RNG. In the cutscene, Crash can look to the side like 1, 2, 3 times, maybe. And every time he looks to the side, he loses time. You don't want him to look to the side. You can lose up to 2 seconds, just basically on RNG. Yeah, so this is up the creek. There's not really much to say here. It's basically upstream, but longer. The all jumps in this level are much harder though, and there's in fact a triple jump that you can do with damage abuse. It's insane. It's a pretty hard strat. And yeah, not much to say here. So I'm just taking into account that there's not really much to cover here. I'm gonna cover some version differences, well, like at the end of the slow. So basically, PAL, the PAL version, zigzagging does not work. So yeah, you cannot do zigzagging. It's definitely the slowest version of the game. On the Japanese version, you can actually do zigzagging as well. It's like there's still the debate whether Jap is faster or slower. But we think it is slower than in TSCU because of the cutscene on RNG. So as I said, you cannot remove the cutscene. But yeah, this is Reaper Roof, second boss fight of the game, pretty linear. I'm gonna do some damage abuse here just to kill him faster. By the way, if you even survive with the 2 masks on this boss fight, you do not get to carry them on to the next level, which is Lost City. Lost City is a really interesting level because I have to 100% it. So I'm death abusing here at the start just to get more consistent cycles later in the level. So basically, to 100% a level in this game, you have to yeah, you have to break all the boxes without dying. Which is a pretty big fact. Like, that's the reason why very few people actually run 100%. Just dying can cost you a lot of time. Really depends where. I also didn't want to get hit there. I wanted to carry 2 masks for Temple Ruins just to do some damage heavy use there, but I got hit sadly. So I am taking only 1 mask, hopefully. Hopefully I don't get hit anymore. So there's a hidden mask on the section where the platforms were moving, like in a circle. By the way, death abusing at the start is definitely not the fastest strat, but it's the more consistent strat, so I guess I'm gonna do that in a marathon. Because the cycles seem to be, they don't seem to be random, but they definitely depend like on a global timer or an universal timer, I'm not sure. So here I'm gonna do some 3D jumping, just to be able to get through this section faster. Reminder, if you die, it's over. Ah, dang. If you go far, like if you go far to the right there, or actually up, like to the right of Crash, you get the point. You do not get hit by that last enemy there, where I got hit. Sadly, I wasn't far enough, so I got hit. Kinda sucks because I cannot do damage heavy using in Temple Ruins, which is this level. It's not worth getting that mask because you will lose some cycle coming up. This level actually trolls me a lot. I tend to lose a lot of runs here. In fact, my PV died twice in this level. It was the only level that killed me. Like, the only level where I died on. And I died twice. So that's a thing. So yeah, I was going to damage heavy use there, but I didn't have the mask. And there as well. So yeah, I get this mask here. Hopefully I actually get it just because Road to Nowhere, which is the next level. Just in case I get hit by a boar. You'll see. I'm gonna try to not get hit here. If I get hit, that's fine, but hopefully not. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can... there's a spot on the ledges of the fire platform where you do not get hit, which is quite convenient to keep this mask. And if you don't have the mask, just to continue, basically. So next up is Road to Nowhere. This is the first out of 2 bridge levels in the game, and you will get to see 2 of them. You can actually jump over those and yeah, then get an input dropped, so you will die. Yeah, as I said before, this game tends to drop inputs. Even though I pressed X, I still died. So that's the board that I usually get hit. So I wanted to carry mask from Temple Ruins to here just in case I get hit there. The other boars are kinder to me. There's a rope strat for this level. You can actually go on top of the ropes on the sides and just kinda go from there, really. It's like the cheap way. But it is slower because zigzagging while being on the the ropes is hard. Also, I died. I death abused again. Like, I died at the start, right? But if you died at the start and complete the level without dying later on, you'll still trigger the cutscene. You have to die after a checkpoint, So that's a thing. Kinda sucks I died on in this in Road to Nowhere. Because I think I was ahead my PV by at least 10 seconds. I don't know, I feel I should still be ahead. That death wasn't terrible, but yeah. This is Boulder Dash. There's really not much to cover here. Like, you could get an extensive donation rate whenever I get to this level. Because it's pretty much the same as boulders. There's nothing to explain. And you have to be careful when spinning there, because there's a TNT and sometimes you'll die. You can carry masks to this level. Not to boulders though, to the first one. I don't know why. Like, if you want to run this game, by the way, practicing zigzagging from the get-go, it's the best thing you can do. Zigzagging hurts your finger like a lot, but it's only like at the start, like when you start zigzagging. Alright, so on this is Sunset Beast, I'm doing the exact same thing I did in Lost City, just to get more consistent cycles. Again, it's not the fastest strat, but it's a more consistent one. So this is a pretty big trick in the run. It's not hard at all. By spinning, you have to be on the center and then spin. Like, not on the center of the walls, but like on the center of the stage, more or less. And spin with a not super precise timing, but precise enough. And you'll get embedded like on the 3D range. So you can go up by pressing X and get up here where I am, which I'm not sure if it's the camera or if it's like at the top section of a stage or of the map or something. But yeah, it works. So, and it's pretty big. It pretty much skips half of this level, which is pretty convenient because this level is pretty difficult. On 100% you actually cannot get it because you have to break some boxes down there. So it's certainly slower to go for it. I'm getting this checkpoint because why not? I have to wait here anyway. You want to do that out of bounds, quote unquote, twice. I'm gonna do it again up here. So I'm gonna death abuse here and then I'm gonna try to get it. There's some more consistent setup for this one, hopefully I won't fail it though. Yeah, there we go. So spinning makes you faster. That's why I'm spinning up there, while being up here. So in order to get that, like the consistent setup for that, you want to spin jump twice and then kill the enemy with the spin, of course. So you get to spin 3 times. That takes you far enough, fast enough, so you can get the cycle. Just get up there. Nice. I got that little cycle. That little cycle's pretty scary sometimes. It's pretty difficult. I think I forgot to mention, you can actually jump on the platforms that move in and out, even if they're inside. It's pretty precise, I'll say. But yeah, you can do that. It's a thing. That was pretty good. That was decent, considering the strats I used. So yeah, that is last level of Island 2. So next up is Koala Kong, and this is the third boss fight of the game. This is pretty much a side-scroller with RNG. Still one thing that has RNG in the run. I'm jumping because y'all... So it has been thought that you could manipulate Koala Kong with zigzagging, although it has not been proven. So this ends up being basically an RNG thing. But yeah, there's really not much to say here. Well, you can spin TNTs and not get damaged. That is called a TNT spin, like here. It's pretty free, you just spin and jump afterwards. It really helps you for 100% categories like Crash 2, Crash 3, and... well, in Crash 2, Crash 3, and Crash 1. To break some boxes faster. Since it's not dangerous, then you can go for it. There's also the Nitro jump in Crash 3, but yeah, that is Crash 3. Anyway, this was a sub 25 second island, which is pretty okay, let's say. Okay, so this is heavy machinery. This is like a level I actually have to focus on, because it's pretty difficult. You can abuse the 3 range to skip those enemies that you cannot kill, by the way. Just fall down there. Alrighty. It is important to carry that mask, just to damage abuser, or otherwise you'll have to wait. Death abuse here, and then go for a thing called a submarine jump, which you'll see in a second. Nice, I got it. Submarine jump, I'll explain it in a second. It's pretty freaking difficult to focus and do this level. I like commentate and do this level. But yeah, keep the submarine jump in mind. I'll explain it in a second. Alright, not such a good ending, but I'll take it. So basically, yeah, submarine jump. When you spin from the ground and then fall like through a hole or something. Once the spin is over, you can jump. That basically happens because when you spin and then fall, the game still thinks you're on the ground for whatever reason. So as soon spin animation finishes, you can jump, even if you're in the air. So yeah, that's a pretty big thing, especially for 100%. Yeah, I just abused the invincibility frames that you get when doing spins to get past those. These are actually 4 scariest levels for me in the run. Hay Machinery, Cortex Power, Generator Room, and Toxic Waste are definitely ones that have killed the most runs for me. So that's why I haven't really said too much. There isn't really too much to cover either, so that's a thing. Death abuse here. I'm actually gonna abuse the 3 range to do a set of jumps. in a second. I'm taking this mask to damage abuse at the end of this level. Which takes a couple of seconds. Maybe maybe a second, not a couple. So I'm using the 3 range here. These are some really scary jumps if you're just starting, but they're pretty free once you get the hang of them. I'm using 3 range as well there. And damage I'm using here. I think that's the best way to do this level. There's a couple of corner skips that you can do. They're pretty difficult though. So, well, not super difficult, but hard enough. Alright, so Toxic Waste is the last level that scares me from this bunch. Then it's Slippery Climb though. Slippery Climb is a pretty big level. So basically this level is just a straight line. Zigzagging is pretty difficult though, since you don't have enough space. And zigzagging while being like going up and having those barrels thrown at you, you still get hit. So I have to go around them, like in these sections, for instance. Oh wow, I was not expecting to jump on top of him. It's like, really? Sometimes when you do not get what you expect, you end up dying. That's basically the nature of the Crash Bandicoot games. Everything is muscle memory. So get something you do not expect, and you'll probably die, like right there. Well, I lost time, definitely, but I didn't die. Yeah. I tried to skip that barrel by going through the side of it. I failed. I thought I was gonna fall or something, or get hit, but yeah, I didn't. This has been Stripe, the 4th level, the 4th boss fight of the run. I didn't skip the cutscene at the start. It doesn't really make the fight faster or slower. If anything, it makes it slower because I get more lag. At least on my PS2 I get more lag. This is basically a side scroller. So yeah, not much to say here. At the start I waited for him to go from left to right first, and hit him when he was going back. That's because it saves like a cycle. It's a little bit faster, so something to have in mind. Alright, so this is the high road second bridge level. Second and last one. This one in particular tends to drop jumps, like it dropped my jump there for instance. I could react, so I didn't die. But yeah, it has actually been happening a lot fronts, especially in 100%. And as I said, in 100% if you die, it's over. So it has been pretty annoying that is happening. It's been not only trolling me, but also Kojiro CTR, which is the world record holder for both categories, in fact. Yeah, there's really not much to say. This level can be scary for casuals. When I was playing this game casually, it scared the heck out of me because there were some jumps that seemed pretty precise, and I just didn't have the ability to go fast. Alright, so next up is Slippery Climb. This is by far one of the hardest levels in the entire run. I have to do some stuff at the start, so I'm gonna focus. Some stuff that I've pretty much already explained how it works, so... Oh my god, well, that sucks. I was kinda hoping to not die. I spinned a little bit early, so I didn't get enough invincibility frames to jump on those spikes. That really sucks. That makes this the downwards part of this level so much slower. That's what I was trying to do. No, Rosa. ¿Si es un favor o algo? No. Ahorita no. Okay. Sorry for that. I had to tell the person just to go away for the time being while I'm recording this. But yeah. The problem with dying is that if you do this level, well, that section without dying, you actually get a pretty good cycle for this. But once you die, it makes this section so much slower. Damn, I apparently didn't make the jump up there. So yeah, I don't think I can PB anymore. I was ahead entering this level. Kinda sucks. But oh well. I was not expecting to PB anyway. Just expecting to get a decent time. Which seems like it's gonna happen, hopefully. So yeah, death abusing there. It is definitely the slowest death abuse in the game. You cannot die off the side. So you have to wait for that slow animation. And actually this level has quite some cycle skips to it. In the first floor, and both in the first floor and the second floor. The first floor are definitely hardest cycle skips. But second floor also has some. You might have noticed already some of the cycles I skipped. And yeah, that's it for this level, unless I die here. Alright, I didn't die. Sometimes take the mask, but I didn't feel like I was getting the cycles, so I didn't feel like going for it. Lights Out, it's a pretty dangerous level. If you zigzag sometimes, you will bonk yourself. Well, Crash will bonk his head on the ceiling, and that sucks because you end up falling down to the holes. But yeah, this level is interesting because it introduced the in dark levels, which Crash 2 and 3 also have. That's a cycle skip, by the way. And but this set of levels in Crash 1, Lights Out and Falling in the Dark, which is an extra level just required for 100%, have the mechanic that a mask is your light, not a dragonfly. So if you get hit, you pretty much lose your light, and I just got, like, I wasn't really paying too much attention and I lost a cycle there. Kinda sucks. It doesn't save too much time, but yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, it's important to not get hit, unless you know the layout. So if you know the layout, there's not too much trouble. So yeah, that is it for Lights Out. So I said I lost a cycle, it could have been like 3 seconds faster. But yeah, what can you do? This is still looking like a pretty solid 43. So I'll definitely be taking that. Especially, this is like my first attempt today. So I'm glad this run is going well. First attempt and only attempt. I was only going to do one anyway. Because submission's closed today. So I was like, yeah, I have to do something. So yeah, this is Jaws of Darkness, last ruin level. There's a couple of cycles that you have to get. Yeah, there's not really too much to it. Damage abuse here, just to go a little bit faster. I've used the 3D range here. Okay, I'm glad that worked, apparently. Usually when I jump early there, I die. I could have gone for that, I kinda was scared though. I usually go for it. The problem is when I embed it, like on that platform, I lost a little bit of time. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna get that. And yeah, this is the end of the level, basically. I'm gonna wait at the end, like I don't wanna risk. You can't, like if you're fast enough, you can actually skip that cycle at the end. Yeah, I'll say it's not that hard to skip. But it is a thing as well, so some things to have in mind. So this is Castle Machinery. This is the other one level. You will get to see a cutscene. This is the reason why I needed to 100% Lost City, because you get the green gems, so you get to skip the entirety of Castle Machinery, which is a pretty big deal, I'll say. So there. And coming up is the 5th boss fight of the run. Rio. There's 2 phases to this fight. In the first one you have to destroy his green gloomy things that I don't know what they are, to be honest. Ah, dang, that sucks. That loses me a couple of seconds. If you destroy them right away, he throws his chemicals, whatever thing, straight away, so I don't have to wait. But I spinned the green glue from the side, so that ended up messing me up. Alright, so we're coming up to the last level of the game, which is Lab. The lab is pretty interesting. There's a lot of spin abusing, like invincibility frames abusing in this level. There's some really interesting stuff to it. Ah, dang. I was worried that was gonna happen. Oh well, that's... I think that's my 3rd unintentional death. Yeah, I died once in Road to Nowhere. Oh dang, that's the 2nd time. Alright, I'm just gonna wait it there. That shouldn't be inconsistent, I feel like. It's pretty stupid that I'm dying there. As I said, once you spin in the air, you get 14 frames instead of 24. So you have less time to play around over those. Like, I shouldn't be dying there, but yeah, sometimes happens. This is still looking like a 43 though, so I will take it, definitely. Solid run. Solid run overall. There were just those 4 mistakes, basically. Well, in fact, it wasn't even my mistake that I died on Road to Nowhere. It was a dropped input. So okay, that is the last. This level only has 1 checkpoint in it. Well, technically 2 if you go to the bonus round. In the Japanese version of the game, there's actually 3 checkpoints to it, including the bonus round. You can do a submarine here, but seeing as I already messed up something before, I don't want to die there. I was gonna go for it regardless, but yeah. This is looking like a high 43. It was looking like a mid 43 after after what? Oh yeah, after Brio. Sadly I messed up. Yeah, high 43 I'll definitely take it, especially for a submission. It's not bad at all. My average for this game is 44. Low 44s. I've been getting quite some 43s lately, but it's always cool to still get 43s. and my PB is 42.52, second place. I will not say it's the second best time, it's just second place on the leaderboards, because there's a player called Theft who I think he has a better run than me, but he's on EMU, so he loses time on loads. Still, my run is in the top 3. Which is not bad. So, time's coming up in a second. 56, alright, I'll take it. That's definitely not bad. By the way, that was Cortex. Goodbye, Cortex. We'll see you in Crash 2. Something interesting to note is that Crash, like the 100% category of this game, you don't get to fight Cortex. Instead, you rescue Tona from the tower. Like, do you remember the Great Hall? That small level that only had the portal pretty much right beside the spawn point. If you get all the gems form like a bridge thing where you go and just rescue Tona. So that's it for my submission. I'm gonna work on Gex as well. Gex 2. That is my main priority actually. As I said, reminder, keep in mind this is kind of as a backup, just in case Farian drops his run, like just in case he cannot go, because Crash 2 100% is the priority. So yeah, get him in, please. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, I guess, if anyone is interested in watching this. I know I missed some stuff in the commentary. Hopefully I can like take into account those things I missed, just in case I get to AGDQ or for another marathon, really. So I'll take it. And last thing, the run at AGDQ 2014 was like a 46:17, so this is a solid 2 minutes faster than that run, and it still had mistakes, so there's still a lot to play around with. So yeah, and that I'll leave that out there. So thanks for watching again.